I just feel like I could like throw this at the wall and it'd be fine. Oh yeah, I actually DNF'd this. This kind of is the reason I repurchased Kindle Unlimited. It is time for my personal Kindle Unlimited TBR. Good luck, babe, if you're reading this. I feel like not a lot of people talk about, but it is huge. It is game changing. It is money saving. I did like Jeremiah, but yeah, now I don't even like him. My 5-star reads that are on Kindle Unlimited. Hello, sweet besties. This is such an exciting video. I'm so excited because I love my Kindle. Let's just hop right into it. So this is going to be all things Kindle. So tips, tricks, should you get one or not, my favorite features, Kindle Unlimited, is it worth it or not, Kindle Unlimited book recs, my Kindle Unlimited TBR, everything Kindle is gonna be right here. Starting with the outside of my Kindle, I'll put it on the screen here. I literally don't know what generation it is. Does it say? I don't think it says, but I do have the pink, I think it's the Paperwhite signature. And this thing, first of all, beautiful, love this color. This thing is so light. Like, I just feel like I could like throw this at the wall and it'd be fine because it's so light. So this is my base Kindle. Absolutely love it. And I feel like sometimes, because I had a yellow iPhone with the cases, it's kind of you know, like I don't want to see the yellow peeking out. But so my first case was this clear one, which I loved because then I could put stickers and you could see the pink. Now recently I have these cases from BURGA and you can literally not see any pink besides this border, so like it doesn't bug me. So I have this cutie one. I got this for summer and it has pearls and the seashells. I really need to get like a fall one now because I'm so in fall mode the second it hit August. And then I also have this one. I thought it was very like Euro summer vibe. Love this one too, but I felt like for the last month of summer, even though I'm in fall mode, I should probably put a more summery one on. So those are my cases. Love BURGA. They have this strap and it's magnetic, so just holding this, you can hold it however you want and it's just so comfortable and it's such a nice quality case. As for the actual Kindle itself, I personally have zero clue how to change the book you're reading to be right here. I've tried, I can't figure it out, so go to someone else for that, but for everything else I got you. Some of my favorite things about this are, first of all, I mean, you can change the font, that's pretty. Also the brightness and warmth, which I love, and just dark mode. I don't really know how I feel about it on the Kindle, but like everything else I'm in dark mode, but on the Kindle, something about it, I like it to see like I'm looking at a book, you know. But something else that is why I love this so much is the battery life literally lasts like a month. I charge this thing probably once every 2 to 3 months and I'm on this almost every single day, which is crazy. This battery just lasts and it charges seriously so fast. Like it's like, how does this work? It's amazing. If you're not sure if you want like a full Kindle, but you're kind of like, ooh, should I just get Kindle Unlimited? There is a Kindle app that you can get on your phone, and I mean, you can just read on that, which is perfectly great. And also something else, if you like Audible like syncs your progress to your Kindle. So if I'm listening to an audiobook and I get back on the Kindle to read, it syncs. It says jump to where you left off, page whatever, and I can just jump there, which is so nice because you don't have to like go back and look, especially sometimes with audiobooks the chapters are like numbered but then the ones in the book are named or something, so finding your place can be kind of difficult, but this like automatically syncs in. I love that. Another app besides the Kindle app is the Libby app. I am such a Libby stan, especially kind of this year. I haven't used it as much as some years previous, but I love Libby so much. It's through the library. Slay, love supporting the library. And what I like is you can get audiobooks or ebook. Ebooks can go directly to your Kindle, which is insane. And the audiobooks are just on app. And what's cool is there are some skip the line books that you can get sometimes, like Just Read the Summer is skip the line right now. That's one of my favorite books ever. Wicked, Jodi Picoult, it might be her new book, I don't know. Emily Wilde's #3, Skip the Line. Finley Donovan, the new one, I read that and loved it. I freaking love the Libby app, and what's really great is their search feature. So you can search by available now. You can go to audiobooks, and then these are all like Kristen Hanna books available now. Like what? All these books are available now where you can just borrow and listen to them immediately. You can place holds for like the more popular ones, which, you know, that may take a while. So yeah, love Libby and love how you can get books for free on your Kindle too without paying for Kindle Unlimited or buying the books actually, which that is so nice. And then something else that I feel like not a lot of people talk about, but it is huge. It is game changing. It is money saving. You can read samples of books on your Kindle before you buy it. It gives you like the first 50, 30-ish pages so you can see if you like the writing, the vibe, whatever. If you do buy the book on Kindle, it'll sync you to where the sample ended, which like that's just such an extra amazing feature. Any book, if you're thinking about buying it, you can read the sample first. Like, even if you're gonna buy the physical copy, still read the sample on your Kindle first and then decide. Ow. Literally mind blown. Mind blown. I love using this feature because also sometimes I'll do this too if I'm gonna read a book physically but don't want to pay for another copy on the ebook. If I just am in the mood to read on my Kindle, I'll read the first like 50 pages or whatever that the sample gives you on here and then switch over just because I love my Kindle so much. That is another little life hack for you. Kindle Unlimited. Kindle Unlimited low-key kind of pisses me off sometimes because it is low-key kind of expensive, $11.99 a month, which that is about the price of one or two ebooks, kind of just depending on what book and if it's like newer. So to make it worth it, you gotta read during the month, you know what I mean? If you're like me, you got a massive physical TBR and you're not always reading on your Kindle and sometimes reading physically, you kind of gotta weigh it, you know what I mean? For new customers who have not had Kindle Unlimited before, they literally always have deals where it's like 3 months for 99 cents. That's a great deal. That's an amazing deal. But for us reader pops who have been reading for years and have had Kindle Unlimited for years off and on, there's never any freaking deals for loyal customers, which that goes for anything, which that's a whole nother topic. It's kind of ridiculous. So if you're like a new member trying it out, there's always deals. Like, just watch for some, check Instagram. I always get Instagram ads for it. I'm like, I'm not a new customer. Thank you though, Amazon. So that's kind of ridiculous, but I personally read on my Kindle all the time, and honestly most of the books that I go to read or want to read are oftentimes Kindle Unlimited, so that's nice. I mean, right now I'm reading the entire Harry Potter series and they're all on Kindle Unlimited, so like I'm saving some money this month, if you know what I mean. And also I always have the max amount borrowed, so I always have to like return something and whatever, but I do share an Amazon Kindle account with my parents, so that's like why I feel like most people probably wouldn't run out if you're like returning books that you have already read. So that's another thing to note, which I thought Kindle Unlimited meant you could borrow like any amount. I don't know if it's just like a total library because we have bought books too. I literally don't know. That's kind of the overview. I just freaking love this thing. I mean, if you're looking for Kindle like technology life hacks, this is not the video for you because I have no clue. I just click on my book and start reading. That's it. But I really like too how on the homepage you can browse books, so it's more like Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, more like Sounds Like Love, books you may like in Kindle Unlimited. Like, they do a great job of picking recs for me, which a lot of these I didn't know were on Kindle Unlimited until I see them right on here. So yeah, I love that they recommend books on here too, because if I'm ever looking for something to read, I just go on this and scroll through the Kindle Unlimited recs. Like, they have recs based on your reading. I'm just like, guys, thank you. Talking more about Kindle Unlimited, I have some book recommendations that I've been on there. So I wanted to start with my 5-star reads that are on Kindle Unlimited, because if you get it, you have to read these. No matter what, I'll make you. So the first one, Harry Potter. The entire Harry Potter series is on Kindle Unlimited, and I just found this out last month. I'm like, I could have been told this years ago, which for such a popular series like Harry Potter to be on Kindle Unlimited is kind of crazy, because I feel like that's something people are going to buy no matter what. But also, I feel like since it's just so popular and widely loved, it should be on Kindle Unlimited, you know what I mean? Kind of like the Hunger Games, you know? So that is on there. If you're wanting to do a fall winter reread like I am right now, definitely go read Harry Potter on Kindle Unlimited, because it has been such an amazing experience for me, and I absolutely cannot wait for that video to come out because I'm so excited about it. And that's my first 5-star that is on Kindle Unlimited. Abby Jimenez. Almost all of her books are on Kindle Unlimited, and I have loved everything I've read by her. She is my top romance author. Here is some of her books that are on Kindle Unlimited. I think there's a couple that aren't, but her first series is, I think Just for the Summer is, and just a bunch of her books are on Kindle Unlimited, and that is amazing because she is literally my favorite author ever. Her books are always funny, but I also always cry. Another 5-star that I actually found from Kindle, and I wouldn't have read it if it wasn't Kindle Unlimited, is Metal Singer. The sequel is coming out soon, and this was seriously one of my favorite fantasies of all time now. It was so fast-paced and just such a fun read. I absolutely loved it. It was so twisty-turny. I had literally no clue what was going on the entire book, and it was amazing, and I just thank Kindle Unlimited every day that I read this. series. Well, also thank Emmy for the rec, but if it wasn't on Kindle Unlimited, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. You know what I mean? The Windy City series. This is such a popular, such an amazing romance, sports romance, interconnected series, and I love all these characters so much, and this is probably like my favorite romance series I've ever read. I didn't read the first book, but I've read the 2nd through 5th, and I loved them all so much. They are almost all 5 stars. Like, they're all like 4.5s, but like, it's a 5-star series. Another author who is, I think all of her books are Kindle Unlimited, if not her most recent 2 releases, Jessa Hastings. Let me check actually if okay, so Magnolia Park series is not on Kindle Unlimited, but her other 2 releases, The Conditions of Will and Time of Our Lives, are on Kindle Unlimited. Conditions of Will was like a 4.5-star read for me. I have not read her other new release yet, but they're both on Kindle. So if you want to kind of get into Jessa Hastings but not commit to the Magnolia Park series yet, I think The Conditions of Will is a great place to start because they're in the same world, but there isn't too much crossover. There is mention of some characters, but like, you don't have to know really them. That's a great starting point if you want to get into Jessa's book, and it is Kindle Unlimited, so you can see if you like her infamous writing style or not. This series is Kindle Unlimited, guys. I feel like I'm gonna blow your mind. The Fourth Wing series is Kindle Unlimited. Fourth Wing is one of my favorite books ever. I love it so much, and it's Kindle Unlimited. So when I did my reread, which you should go watch, of course I read it on Kindle, which also I was on Goodreads, and Fourth Wing is my most read book. I've read it 3 times. I don't really reread books that often, but I reread Fourth Wing 3 times. So that says something, and it's Kindle Unlimited, so I didn't even have to pick up a hardcover book, you know? I think Iron Flame is 2. I'm not sure about Onyx Storm, but you can read the first 2 for basically free and then decide if you want to continue it. I love Fourth Wing. I mean, I feel like it gets a lot of hype, and a lot of times that's kind of like, you know, but this book, it was so worth it to me. It was so fast-paced and entertaining, and these characters in this series are some of my favorite characters ever. They feel like they're real people, and I love them so much. Another 5-star, which I feel like I don't really talk about often, but it is such like a 6-star read, and I've also read this book 2 or 3 times too, Divine Rivals. I think the sequel is on Kindle Unlimited too, and this is seriously the most wholesome fantasy historical romance book ever. The romance in this is seriously unmatched. These characters have such a deep connection. That is my favorite part of this book. Like, the man in this book, it's like a fantasy historical fiction romance book. If that sounds up your alley, please go read it. I want to reread it so bad, and I've been really thinking about this lately, and the fact that it's on Kindle Unlimited is gonna make me reread it because I can just read it in bed. You know, I don't have to hold the hardcover. The Boys of Tobin series is on Kindle Unlimited. The most recent release, Releasing 10, is not on Kindle Unlimited, but the rest of the series is. The first 5 are on Kindle Unlimited. This series, it is another 5-star series for me. This is one that I lightly will recommend though, because it is heavy. Like, good luck, babe, if you're reading this. I still haven't fully recovered, and I finished the last book 2 months ago at this point, and it is still affecting me. I will still get flashbacks to some of the scenes in that book, and I will actually be upset the rest of the day. It's not an easy series to read, but seriously, it is really eye-opening, and there is so many topics talked about that aren't always talked about in other books, and her writing is really addicting, and these characters are amazing. You will fall so deep in love with them all, and this world is just, it's so unique and just developed, and it feels like I could literally hop on a plane and go meet them and go to a rugby match and all that, you know? Listen for the Lie. I gave this book 4.5 stars. This is my favorite thriller of the year so far. This is on Kindle Unlimited. It's always crazy to me when like new release hardcover fiction books are on Kindle Unlimited. It's like, I really don't have to spend $30 for that hardback right now. This was such a great thriller. It was so fast paced. The main thing is like crime, murder mystery podcast, and this guy is trying to figure out what happened in this case that no one was specifically charged for back then, and it's in this small town, and the main girl, everyone thinks she did it, but like, did she actually do it? We don't know. It's such a good time. It's so fast paced, and it's like a shorter thriller too. This is another one I recently realized was on Kindle Unlimited and was absolutely shocked. The Beartown series. Literally everyone has been talking about this lately, and for good reason. It is an incredible series, and Frederick Bachman is such a good author. I read the first one twice and loved it. I read it for the first time back in like 2022 or 3, and I reread it, I think last year, and I've been slowly continuing the series because it is just such a heavier series. And at this point I think I'm just gonna wait till it gets colder out, like to the winter, because it is centered in this hockey freezing cold town because it is set in hockey season. That's like winter time. Maybe wait for the winter for this one, but yeah, it is Kindle Unlimited. You can afford to wait because it's free, you know? So yeah, I will definitely be continuing the series on there once I work up the courage to, honestly. Another one that I'm shocked is on Kindle Unlimited, and I saw it in there, I'm like, oh my god. Six of Crows is on Kindle Unlimited. This is one of my favorite books of all time. I read this back in 2023 or 2022, I think. Have not stopped thinking about it since. This is the best like fantasy found family ever. This group of people who all have like different powers, different specialties, they go on this insane heist, and it is just so like mastermind coded. Like Kaz, our main guy, he just plans out everything. I love a fantasy book where there's this plan and then the main character, it's like, actually this, and when something goes wrong, he already has it figured out, and it's just like, you're such a mastermind. So that is on Kindle Unlimited. I'm assuming the second one is too, but I don't know. It is a duology, and this is top fantasy duology I've ever read. Go read that. Like literally right now. Just pause this video. Now leave this video running in the background and go get it. Another amazing series, the Prison Healer series. I read this in 2023 also, and I absolutely loved this trilogy. I thought it was so well done. I love the characters. I have heard kind of mixed things on it, but personally I freaking loved it. And Lynn and Ani also has another series which is not on Kindle, but it is still such a good. Actually, I think the first book is on Kindle Unlimited. There you go. So go read both of these because she is such a good writer, and I feel like I really like the way she writes and develops fantasy worlds, and her characters are always so good. From both the series I've read by her, the Prison Healer and then the Madoran Chronicles, I've loved all of the characters and just felt so connected to them, and there's always like found family in both. And then some Kindle Unlimited books that I have read but aren't necessarily 5 stars, but still books I enjoyed and or somewhat did not enjoy, but you might. All of Frida McFadden's books. If you're in a slump, if you are just wanting something fast and easy to read, if you're going on like a long drive, Frida McFadden has got you. All of her books are Kindle Unlimited, and they're all just fast-paced fun times. Some of them aren't always the best. Some of them are the best. Some of them just they'll get the job done. Definitely pick up one of her books, especially like thrillers. A lot of times I don't necessarily like need to have them on my shelf because they're not always something I'm gonna think about frequently, but like reading them on Kindle quickly, it's like perfect. This is very fitting for right now. The Summer I Turned Pretty is on Kindle Unlimited. If you want to reread it and just catch all the Easter eggs, make some TikTok edits that are amazing. If you want to compare, this is the time because they are on Kindle Unlimited. So while you're watching the show, get on the Kindle store. You know what I mean? I don't know. I haven't read this series since 2022. I remember I reread it once I got my wisdom teeth out. And then before that, I think I read it in like 2021. Like I read it twice, but not recently. Always been Team Conrad. I did like Jeremiah in like the first book, not as a relationship for her, but I was like, yeah, he's cool, like he's a good friend. But yeah, now I don't even like him. So moving on, Elsie Silver books are all on Kindle Unlimited. The Chestnut Spring series, the Wild Love series, is that just what it's called? I don't know. They're all on there. But yeah, I have been slowly making my way through the Chestnut Spring series for like 2 years at this point. I've been enjoying it. It's fun when I'm in the mood for it, and it's super popular and well loved. So I definitely recommend checking that one out if you want like a small town country vibe, because that is such a vibe. Kind of sticking with that, Lucy Score books are on Kindle Unlimited. So the Things We Never Got Over series, and she just has actually a shit ton of other books too. Like if you open one of her physical copies, her backlist is like pages. If you like Lucy Score books, they're all on Kindle Unlimited, and she is such a good author. I read just The Things We Hide from the Light, the first book, really enjoyed it. Rachel Gillig, the One Dark Window duology is on Kindle Unlimited. That is again such an amazing fantasy duology. I feel like duologies and trilogies are like my thing in fantasy, besides Throne of Glass. That's just like its own category, but that's like my favorite length of a fantasy series, specifically a duology, and this is an incredible one. She did also come out with a new book. Can't wait to get to that one, and I have loved her other duology. This is another series that is technically a duology, but there is a novella and then the spin-off, The Serpent and the Wings of the Night series. I read this a couple years ago and I really enjoyed it. Again, just a quick, easy fantasy series. It's like really easy to understand too, in the world it's very vampire Hunger Games vibes. It was really good, and I really liked the novella in between the two books, and there is 2 more books out now that are spin-offs. I have not got to those yet, but I will because they're Kindle Unlimited, so I can. Circling back to Fourth Wing, the author Rebecca Yarros, she actually started as a romance author, and I have recently during this year I have read 2 of her romance books, and they're actually so good, which I don't know why I was surprised. It's just crazy that she can write fantasy and be so successful with it, but also write romance and then be incredible. So I read 2 of these. They're kind of more like historical romance vibes, which personally I really love, so I really enjoyed those. So she has just a ton of books on Kindle Unlimited, period. And then a book I read recently was Right Where You Left Me by Lana Vargas, which was also, again, Kindle Unlimited. Hello, that's the whole point. I don't know why I had to say that. This is just like a summary second chance short sweet book. It was like under 300 pages, and this author is on TikTok, and she has been kind of documenting her writing process, which I really like watching her TikToks as someone who is attempting to write her own book. Definitely very motivating watching her content, and I love obviously supporting her and reading her book. Go check her out if you haven't heard of her before. Oh yeah, I actually DNF'd this. For some reason, when I wrote this down, I thought I finished it. No, you did not. So I DNF'd this book, City of Gods and Monsters. I was like 50% in, and this was my book club book, which I feel like lately I've just been absolutely failing my book club. Well, not like my book club, but my friend's book club. I DNF'd this. I literally could not get into it at all, and it was like 50% through. They were all like, it gets better, it gets better. I'm like, guys, I don't care. But the series is so well loved, and I've heard amazing things about it, so if you can get into it, good luck. This is a huge series. The books, I think there's gonna be like 5 books, and they just get longer and longer. Go check it out if you want. It's kind of like Crescent City vibes. Like there's just a bunch of different creatures, and this guy has to like protect this girl for whatever freaking reason. I don't know. Not for me, but maybe for you, so go check it out. The Paris Notebook. This is a book I read again earlier this year. It's like a historical fiction World War II time book. So it's about our main girl who she gets this job, and she has to transcribe a medical diary that basically says that you know who from that time period is not fit for office. So there's people coming after them, her and this doctor. They have to travel places and try and get this published and all that. Super high stakes throughout. I loved it. I was on the edge of my seat throughout, and like I love a book where, although this isn't like a positive emotion or an emotion I want to feel, like I love feeling like anxious just during a book when it's like I have to keep reading, I have to know what's happening, I'm so stressed for these characters. Kind of like in The Nightingale, the whole time I was like on edge, heart rate's probably like 100 some, you know, like I just love that feeling of being so invested that you can't stop reading, and it's like actually stressing you out. This book did that, because there were times where I'm like, literally, how is this gonna work out? Like, how are they gonna survive? How is everything gonna go down? And the ending of this I absolutely love. And it was a shorter one too, because I feel like sometimes historical fiction books can be longer, but this was like 400 pages. Marissa Meyer's books, the Cinder series, the Lunar Chronicles, Heartless, I'm pretty sure they all are Kindle Unlimited, and she is such a good author. I reread the Lunar Chronicles at the end of last year, and I loved them so much. Just very nostalgic, because I did read the first one back when I was a teenager or whatever. I loved this series so much. I was so sad but happy to finish it off because it ended so greatly. And I did read some of Heartless on Kindle Unlimited, which I ended up not really enjoying, but if you like Marissa Meyer, you may like this. It's an Alice in Wonderland retelling. Another book I really did not enjoy, but I've seen a lot of people do enjoy, and you might, the Zodiac Academy Challenge? Why did I almost say that? Series. I read the first one. I really low-key hated it. Not for me, but it could be for you. So if you want to check this out and don't want to buy obviously the freaking 27 books, here you go, you know? Spark of the Everflame. I read this at the end of 2024. Really enjoyed it. I have not continued the series yet, but I think they are all on Kindle Unlimited, and these books are chunky, and they just keep getting chunkier. So check it out on Kindle if you don't want to hold 1,000-page books. Yeah, this was a really good series, honestly. I feel like there were some things I found kind of not super developed, or like I wanted more from in this series. It was a great time, and I honestly feel like I might hopefully be continuing this soon, because when I saw this one on my list of books I'd read on Kindle, I was like, ooh, I've kind of forgot about that. That was fun. These Violent Delights, another series, another duology. I read the first one, have not continued it yet. This was such a fun time. I think it's like a loose Romeo and Juliet retelling, and there's like gang turf wars, so it was fun. Another book I didn't like, Trial of the Sun Queen. I think this whole series is on there. I personally didn't love this, but you might, because everyone has their own opinion, and that is okay. That's what makes reading so fun. Vancouver Storm series, the new one recently just came out. I think I've only read the first 2, maybe 3, but I love this series. It's just like a sweet, cute interconnected sports hockey romance series, and I really like this series because the guys in this series have been so good. Like the one in the second book, he was just so acts of service king. I loved it so much. I think for this series, the Finley Donovan series, I think just like the first two are Kindle Unlimited, which is fine because then you can get hooked in the series and decide if you want to spend the money on the rest of it. I love this series. It was so fast paced and fun. It's just like a cozy mystery vibe. But yeah, this is just one of those mystery series where everything that could go wrong goes wrong. So it's just really entertaining, and I actually love these characters so much. There's a little bit of romance too, and I felt really connected to these characters. The series does drag a bit, but that's why maybe the first 3 are on Kindle and the rest aren't. So maybe just stick to the first trilogy. This was a couple summers ago, but The Infinity Between Us, this is like second Chansey summer book. She does have another book, or Final Love Song. I don't know if this one was on Kindle because I think I read it physically, but it might easily be on Kindle. Just another author for you guys to check out, a smaller indie author. It is time for my personal Kindle Unlimited TBR. These are books that I could eventually get to. Some of them I may not ever read. Some of them I may read tomorrow. You know what I mean? First one being Quicksilver. Will I ever read this? Maybe. I could be convinced, but personally, I have heard not great things about this book, but I've also heard great things about it. One of my close friends absolutely did not like this book. I could definitely be convinced. There's some Ellen Hilderbrand books that are on Kindle Unlimited. I originally was searching for them on my Kindle, and there only like 2 came up, but then I went on my computer and I found more. Really happy about that. I think The Castaways, The Blue Bistro, I really want to get into more of her books, but I feel like I'm kind of late to the season for that because I'm still in fall mode now. I read The Perfect Couple this year and loved it. So I want to get into more of her books. One I randomly downloaded because it was on, like I talked about earlier, that like recommended for you based on your reading. Summer at Firefly Beach. I did start this, but it was during my slump, so I kind of just like abandoned it for the time being. So definitely want to get back into that. Maybe not this year. Another one I'm currently reading and started during my slump and was kind of like, Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I've heard great things about this book and I want to get to it, which I feel like starting it though, I went in thinking it was something else. It's been something completely different, so I'm a little like, ooh, I don't know, but I'm gonna keep reading it obviously and see where it goes. Circling back to how earlier I said I've been failing my book club, I failed them with this book. Our book last month was supposed to be A Flicker in the Dark. I didn't even start it, unfortunately, but I feel like I've been in like a subtle month-long slump like all summer. Even right now I'm continuing the Harry Potter series, like I said a million times, and I just have no motivation to read. Like this book I eventually want to get to because they all read it except for me, and I'm just like, I actually feel terrible when stuff like that happens when I'm the reason, you know what I mean? So this book was on a Barnes table of movie adaptations. It's from one of my favorite authors, Catherine Center. It's called Happiness for Beginners. It's like a camping something, I don't know. I think they have backpacks on the cover, that's all I know. But I downloaded it on Kindle and I would love to watch the movie too because I love Catherine Center so much. I've read so many of her books now and I loved them all so much, especially her older ones, and I think this is one of her older ones, so I'm so excited. So on this, it's kind of like an ad basically where sometimes book recommendations pop up. So a couple that I've saw in there that I downloaded and was like, oh, that sounds good. Of Blood and Fire, Lady of Darkness, and then Consider Me, which I've seen that like at Barnes before too, but it came up on here and I really wanted to read it. So those are some that have came up here and I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of good. I'm gonna download that. I like when they do that ads up here because some of them do sound really good. And then also I downloaded this and I was gonna start it someday, but I think it was again during like a slump, so I was like, I'm not in the mood for a romance book. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan, I want to get into her books so bad, so I downloaded this on Kindle because I've heard amazing things about this one and I cannot wait to start it. I just really have not been in a romance mood lately at all. I've just been really craving like general fiction books, and now obviously the Harry Potter series too. This was yet another one I saw at Barnes and then I started it and then I was like, wait, I'm slumping. I think part of it was even in a video or maybe I cut it. A Tempest of Tea. This was the Barnes pick for some month and I thought it sounded so good, so I downloaded it. Kind of Six of Crows vibes, like there's a heist. Didn't get farther than like 20 pages. So Daughter of No Worlds, I actually am like 70% through this book, abandoned it for a couple months, forgot all about it, and feel like I need to restart it. This is also the author of A Surveil Waits at Night. Flock. This is one I've seen on TikTok. I really don't know what it's about, but I wrote it down because I've never really heard much about this, so maybe I'd like it. I literally don't know. Jade City. This series sounds again so good. I think it's kind of also like Six of Crows vibes, which I haven't really found any Six of Crows vibes books I love yet, but maybe I will because I did love the heist, and I feel like even in movies I love a heist. Encantra, the sequel to Phantasma. At this point I'll just save it for the fall time because that's when I first read Phantasma last year and I loved it so much. It was the perfect fall book. 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, I think it is. I've had this book on my physical TBR for literal years. Like It's one of the first books I ever bought. So I just need to read this, and I think Kindle's the only way I will. Blood of Hercules, this book I bought the physical copy of, but then I was like, wait, it's on Kindle Unlimited. There is really pretty artwork in the physical copy though, so I'm not mad I have it. I think this is like a dark fantasy, which I am definitely intimidated by, but I also think it sounds really good. Hello Stranger, Catherine Center. Again, I love her books so much. I think just a select few of her books are on Kindle Unlimited, but this one is one of her newer books, and I'm excited to get to it. Devney Perry's books, like Small Town Calamity Montana series, the Book of Azrael. This kind of is the reason I repurchased Kindle Unlimited a year or two ago, because I've seen this around and I thought it sounded so good. Have I read it yet? No. It's been downloaded though for that like year to 2 years, but I want to get to it eventually. And then these two I actually found out were on Kindle Unlimited yesterday when I was scrolling through looking for books for this, and I was so excited because I have had both of these in the back of my mind lately. The Only Purple House in Town. This is like a fall witchy book, which I'm reading The Unfortunate Side Effects right now, which I'm reading on my Kindle from the Livy app. Shout out. And I don't really know if witchy books are for me, because I also read The Ex-Hex and I really did not like it, so I'm wondering if I don't love witchy books. Maybe I'll try this one and see and form an opinion on that. Also Sandwiched. I've just seen it around a lot lately and I had no clues on Kindle Unlimited. I think that is all of my Kindle TBR. And with that is also the end of this video. If you already have a Kindle, I hope you found at least one new rec or book to add to your TBR. And if you don't have a Kindle, I'd recommend it. I love mine. I mean, I love it so much. It's been almost a year with this and I freaking love it. I take it almost everywhere with me. And again, it's just so compact and small, and yeah, I just love it so much. So I would definitely recommend. And let me know if you have a Kindle, if you're thinking about getting one, or if you just found a new book rec from this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.